The FCC chair, Brendan Carr, he was on Benny Johnson's show, whatever this guy's name is.
But frankly, when you see stuff like this, I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC. Again, there's actions that we can take on licensed broadcasters, and frankly, I think that it's really sort of past time that a lot of these licensed broadcasters themselves push back on Comcast and Disney and say, listen, we are going to preempt. We are not going to run Kimmel anymore until you straighten this out, because we licensed broadcaster, are running the possibility of fines or license revocations from the FCC if we continue to run content that ends up being a pattern of news distortion.
He can do this the easy way or the hard way, is what Carr said. That sounds like a gangster. That sounds like illegal activity. That sounds like leaning on someone and abusing your power to get your way because the president is a fascist with thin skin that can't take the slightest of criticism. That's the FCC chair saying, we got licenses we can give you. You got to go to us in order to get the money that you want to continue to make. So therefore, we're going to tell you what to do. We're going to censor any kinds of broadcasts that disagree with what the president is saying. It's like it's a suppression of opposition. I'm going to play Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is a raging white supremacist. He's all about the Groypers movement. And he's a Donald Trump supporter. I'm just going to let you guys know before we play it. This is very similar to what Jimmy Kimmel said.
I was genuinely disturbed by Trump's reaction to Charlie Kirk's death. Isn't this your friend? They asked him about it the day after, and he said, yeah, anyway, so we're building the new East Wing. Are you serious? You got shot. This is your 31-year-old friend who supported you for years. You know him by name. Your son is friends with him. It doesn't seem like he could be bothered. He didn't go to the memorial. He's golfing. He's dancing at a sports outing. Shame on all of the Trump shills for not calling this out.
Very similar to the examples that I've been giving ever since this happened. Donald Trump was at that Yankees game dancing. Donald Trump was getting asked questions about how are you doing specifically regarding the death of your friend and biggest supporter and push for this youth movement of MAGA folks. He pivoted directly to talking about his accomplishments with building something, paving over the Rose Garden, and adding his ballroom for his elite parties in the Golden Palace. I want to make sure you guys remember that. This, populist president that many people for some reason were suckered into thinking that is building a golden palace for elitist parties. Again, he's building a golden palace for elitist parties. There's another conservative that always kisses Donald Trump's ass that started to notice what's going on just after Charlie Kirk died. And it's also similar to what I've been saying. It's like they wanted it to happen so they could use it to go ahead and progress more of their fascist movement and takeover of the country.
You hope that. You hope that Charlie Kirk's death won't be used by a group we now call bad actors to create a society that was the opposite of the one he worked to build. You hope that. You hope that a year from now, the turmoil we're seeing in the aftermath of his murder won't be leveraged to bring hate speech laws to this country. And trust me, if that does happen, there is never a more justified moment for civil disobedience than that, ever. And there never will be. Because if they can tell you what to say, they're telling you what to think. There is nothing they can't do to you because they don't consider you human. They don't believe you have a soul. A human being with a soul, a free man, has a right to say what he believes, not to hurt other people, but to express his views.
Tucker Carlson's point on what happens if they start taking away your ability to speak your mind. The only thing I have to disagree with that point about was if they do it. I mean, if they do it, they're doing it. They've been doing it. But this is the problem. It goes back to those same old narratives that people always say is if you ignore the fact that fascists are coming for a different group of people that you dislike, they're eventually going to show up at your door, bro. And now that they're showing up at the door of some people that we look up and go, oh my God, they can't do that to him. And they go, I hope we're not suppressing people's free speech because then they don't see you as human. Tucker Carlson so therefore they will not see you as human. I'd like to remind the people that are coming to these woke realizations in this country. We based this country on a bunch of people we enslaved and called them less than humans so that we could justify that act to build this country's wealth. It is the basis for this country's beginnings. We clarify people as subhuman so that we can abuse them, use them, kill them, benefit, progress someone else's superiority life off of these types of narratives, that propaganda. So I'm glad Tucker Carlson's finally understanding that these guys are fascists. I just wish they'd fully admit it. So let's go to the details of what is that's going on here. This is the mechanisms that they used to get to that point.
Nexstar already owns lots of TV stations. It wants to merge with Tegna, which owns lots of other stations. In order to do that, it needs Brendan Carr, the FCC chair's permission, and it actually needs the FCC to change the regulations entirely about how many stations an individual company can own. So Nexstar has all of this pending business before the government. Tegna also does, and there's another big station owner called Sinclair that also has business pending before the government. So what do we know tonight? We know that both Nexstar and Sinclair called up ABC this afternoon, complained about Kimmel, and said they were yanking the show off their stations. ABC subsequently yanked the show nationwide. So we know that two major TV station owners, both of which need to curry favor with the Trump administration, were the ones that most loudly and vocally condemned Kimmel and said they were going to not air the show tonight and in the coming nights. It's an Occam's razor situation. It's exactly what it looks like.
Was that clear? Did you guys hear that? So these big companies, Nexstar, Sinclair, both called up ABC and said, you got to get them off there because we need to curry favor with the president who's thin-skinned and will do anything for us as long as we censor people. In order to censor people, there has to be control over the media, over networks, over stations, over broadcast stations. Just like this same fascist president was trying to control universities and law offices. He went after everyone. He's using lawfare. He's using the pressure of the presidency and in public society to bash people and then also threaten them. It's how it works. So now, because we're a capitalistic society, an unfettered capitalistic society is based on no matter what it takes, including the healthcare industry is probably one of the best examples. No matter what it takes, these guys have a fiduciary responsibility to make more money for their investors. So if you're part of a company and your objective is solely to make more money, and then you've run out of people to steal resources to make more money, you will do anything to make then more money, even when the money's drying up from the people that you're taking all the money from. So Nexstar and Sinclair Broadcasting came together and said, well, I know how we can continue to make more money. We need to get approvals for this merger to then make more money. And in order to get that approval, the president and the FCC chair who works for the president told us, if you just start censoring people that the president doesn't like, then we'll give you that approval. It's a partnership of these corporations and a fascist leader. If only we knew anything about history, we would have known that. I know someone that knows a little bit more about history. Really good friend of the show, Jessica Burbank. Maybe you guys remember Jessica Burbank. She was always on Mondays, the best damn day of the week. She posted this. 5 executive teams control 90% of American media. Many are following the federal government's lead to determine what we can and can't say. Here's a quote. Fascism should more appropriately be called corporatism because it's a merger of state and corporate power. That was Benito Mussolini that she quoted there. Someone who might know a little bit about that subject. I want to remind you guys, on Inauguration Day, a bunch of billionaires who owned corporations with communications, social media, and journalism, all were at his inauguration. People who previously didn't like him, but they lined up to kiss his ass and offer him $1 million so that he could do things for them, that they can continue to make more money. They don't care. There is no political ideology. The political ideology is money. The political ideology is unfettered capitalism. So these folks are willing to censor people and not give a damn because they get to go back to their ivory towers and then get invited to the Golden Palace for the elite parties that Donald Trump is proposing right now. They get to do all that as long as they censor the people that are letting the rest of the public know just how fascist this administration is. In case you guys didn't really fully understand all that, I got someone else that talked about how this whole merger deal and the corruption behind this worked. Her name is Kara Swisher. She was also on CNN yesterday talking about it.
Brendan Carr is rather thirsty for attention. That's one thing, and it's unbecoming a public official. But that's nothing new for him. This is what he does. I mean, I think one thing you're leaving out is Nexstar is trying to do a very large merger with Tegna, and so they will do whatever it takes to satisfy someone.
That's important.
Who's a kind of a toady to Donald Trump.
Right. That's an important point, because that merger would require the approval of the FCC, correct?
Correct. That's correct. And so they're trying to do anything he can do to shake them down on behalf of Donald Trump. He's doing, which is including these people who are alleged free speech warriors have turned out to be, cancel culture fans. And so, Jimmy Kimmel also tweeted something out saying he was so sorry for this death and we should put aside our differences. He's a comic. Comics should be able to make jokes.